wow. I've there have been a few reviews that I've done where that's just exactly how I start because nothing else really describes how it just ended other than wow. What a ooh, gripping episode. I mean, from start to finish, I loved it. I've been very frustrated with Matt in the past couple episodes. He kind of wised up, just like I was hoping he would after what Elektra did to the kid in the last episode. He did wise up. He was like, "You're crazy. See you later." So that was nice to see. But yeah, this is the ninth episode, so 4 episodes left to go. The title of this episode is 7 Minutes in Heaven, and Kingpin nominated the Punisher and Dutton to go have 7 minutes in heaven. The Punisher did not do exactly what I thought he was going to do. I thought most people go, they talk, they have a good time, maybe a little bit of, smooching, and they did get very close. That just cracks me up. 7 minutes in heaven. That's a genius title. He had 7 minutes according to the guard. Maybe it's just because I'm really tired because I'm watching this really late, and that's why it just cracks me up more than it should. But I can't stop smiling thinking about how hysterical that is. Anyway, so yeah, this episode overall really really good. It starts off kind of showing what happened to Kingpin after he got arrested. I wish they'd shown a bit more about how he started to control pretty much most of the police force in this prison. Um, like, I don't know, it seemed like the police force was not corrupt, but based on this episode, it seems like everybody that works inside this prison is corrupt. Like, whether they're working for Kingpin or they're working for Dutton, they're all corrupt. I wish they'd shown how that had come to be, because based on what we've seen so far, it seemed like the police force was good. They finally got rid of the corruption. It was all said and done. But based on this, obviously they're not good. There's still a lot of corruption going on. So I don't know. Maybe they hid it intentionally, or maybe they just didn't explain it well. Either way, that is going on a lot. But it was kind of nice to see Kingpin, dealing with these people, dealing with this guy who was claiming he was the Kingpin of this prison. And so he makes some friends, uses money to, befriend them and earn their trust, and then gets Punisher in the prison, knowing that he wants to talk to Dutton as much as Kingpin wants him out of the picture. So they had the conversation. I like how the Punisher did not just, he stayed true to character the whole time. He wasn't just, yeah, I'll go talk to this guy for you. Thanks for getting me in here. He was like, no, I don't do arrangements. It took a lot of convincing from the Kingpin to finally get him to go talk to this Dutton guy. And even then, like, things didn't work out as planned. But yeah, it was nice to see that his character stay true. Whereas some characters, some shows would have taken the easy way out. Kingpin would have come to talk to him. He would have just said, okay, yeah, I'll go talk to this guy. And that would have been it. This one actually took the time for Kingpin to actually have to convince him to go do this for him. That's nice to see. It's not every show that does that. In fact, hardly any shows do that. So that was good. Matt kind of figuring out more about this whole scheme by the hand. Going and finding this guy that he and Elektra had taken the key card off of at the party, finding out that he was actually being coerced because the hand had his son. So, finding out more about their operation. Before I get to the final part, though, I want to go back to Frank Castle, the Punisher, because that scene in the prison was epic. Oh my gosh. I love the fact that this is on Netflix, so they can do really, really graphic scenes like this. And I know that sounds really morbid and weird, but it's real. It feels realistic to see that, to see him taking out all these guys, stabbing the crap out of them. pretty much scooping a guy's eyeball out with his fingers. He just stabs it in there and just like, oh, it was crazy, but it was awesome. It was such a great, just intense scene. I loved it. At the same time, I was a little bit like, holy crap. This he doesn't mess around. And I don't mind that. Because, honestly, one of the things that Marvel has been kind of accused of is being a bit too soft. Like, you think about, what is one of the biggest jokes in Avengers Age of Ultron? Iron Man, shit. Captain America, language. You know, they make fun of themselves because of that. They make fun of themselves because they try to keep it very comic book like. They try to make it fun. They try to make it, colorful, like it's a comic book. With Daredevil, they've really taken it, in the first season too, they took it very dark. They took a very dark tone. But they're taking a very real look at this Punisher. They could have made the Punisher just this guy who was avenging his wife and kids, and that's it. They just turned him into a killer, and that. No, they made him a serious, just badass who doesn't take prisoners, who fights dirty in this prison, who will, a guy's coming at him with a knife, he'll stab his thumb into his eye, and, the guy's coming down, pretty much saws off his neck with a shiv. I mean, that's more realistic. That is, when you think about the Punisher, when you think about that name, what that entails, what they've really built up this character as, a survivor. Somebody who was in the war, who saw some crazy crap. That's who I expect. This fight scene is exactly what I expect. I love the fact that they did that. It was brilliant. Yeah. That's about all I want to say there. If I pause, it's because I'm trying to think about what to say, because it's late. I've been binge watching a lot. This is probably my last review of the night, though, so I'll probably start uploading a few of these that I've done tonight. Anyway, moving on. Back to the hand stuff with Matt. He starts fighting this guy after he helps Stan, I think his name was. He helps him get his son back. They're all hooked up to this thing that's draining their blood. Really weird. It was like, what is this? I know, watching the Screen Junkies Please Explain Daredevil Season 2, they talked about something that might involve with the hand or something like, I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned something about the hand that they might do, might not do. So maybe this blood thing, maybe it means something to the people who know a lot about the comics. They're like, oh, they're getting their blood, it must mean this and this and this. And obviously I'm not one of those people. But they also have, like, it looks like a coffin. It's, I don't know what it is, but it looks like a coffin. It looks like it's holding a body of some sort. So anyway, as Matt's doing this, a guy shows up, another ninja. They start fighting, and all of a sudden he drops this chain. And I had flashbacks to season 1. I'm like, what? That guy's dead. He caught on fire. It can't be the same guy. It must be somebody related to him. And then as they're fighting, he's like, I hope you have the scars to remember me by from last time. And I'm like, it is the guy? Wait, what? How? And then he takes off his mask, and Matt's like, wait, you're dead. And he turns, and it's got, like, burn mark on the side of his face. I'm like, the immortality is real. It was really kind of like, oh my gosh, they really do have the secret of immortality. This guy was burned alive and survived. How is that possible? So yeah, very, very good reveal too, because first when he drops the chain, you're like, wait, that guy from the first season had the chains too, but he burned alive. It can't be him. And then he mentions I hope you have scars to remember me by. I'm like, that's when you start thinking, if it is him, but how did he survive? And then he takes off the mask and you see the burn mark, and you're like, it's the immortality. Stick was telling the truth. It's the immortality. Crazy. So I really hope they get into the next episode. I really hope they start touching a bit more on that immortality stuff. Because yeah, it's very clear that's where they're setting up to go. It's going to be a big talking point. And if they're immortal, how do you deal with them? How do you stop them? It's kind of something that needs to be addressed. Anyway, also going on is, obviously you still got the main three: Matt, Karen, and Foggy. Foggy shows up at the beginning. No, that was the last episode. No, it was this episode. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember. God, some of these episodes, it feels like forever since the beginning of this episode. I believe that the beginning of this episode, Foggy shows up to talk to Matt about the future of the business, and Matt's just like, "You're better off without me. You should, if you feel like I'm holding you back, you should go and start your own firm." Karen wants to continue looking into the case, but Foggy's like, "Look, you need to let it go." So she goes to the newspaper thing. The guy that she talked to, the New York Bulletin, I think, and is talking to him about stuff. They go and talk to the doctor who covered up this John Doe. They find out about the sting operation set up by the feds or whoever. I figured that's going to become a bigger talking point going forward. Once again, I hope that this sting operation and the hand are two separate things. I hope they don't end up connecting, because I don't know, it just feels too convenient for it all to connect together. Than I'd rather see the hand have their plot, and then whoever was behind this whole thing, the blacksmith is his name, he's got his own plot too. So Daredevil's having to compete, trying to keep track of both, trying to stop both. It would be nice to see him trying to juggle that. So that's going on. Something else interesting though is that after they go and talk to the doctor, Karen and the newspaper guy return back, and he lets her into Ben Urich's office. And there's a folder on the desk that says Karen Page. She opens it up, and there's a newspaper article that talks about accident causes teen death or something like that. So some sort of car accident. And she starts like crying, like bawling. She's like, "Did you read this?" Maybe this was explained in the first season, and I totally forgot because it's been forever since I've watched the first season. But I feel like this has something to do with her family? Maybe? Once again, this may be a comics thing that I don't know about, but it obviously affects her in some way. I guess maybe it's her family, maybe it was her parents that died, maybe it was siblings. I don't know, because we don't really know a whole lot. Like, she talked about her brother, I think, to Matt in the beginning of this season. So maybe that's where it entails. I don't know. But, there's a lot of questions to be asked there. It feels like they're setting up for something. They wouldn't just show that and be like, "Oh, we're never going to talk about that again." So, yeah, I'm curious where that's going. But yeah, this was a really, really good episode. The fighting was back to what I expect of the show. When Daredevil was fighting the ninja from season 1, when the Punisher was taking on all those guys in the prison, it was a bit more like the fighting whenever Daredevil and Punisher were fighting earlier this season. It wasn't flips and kicks and all that. Like I said in those reviews, it was a bit more grounded. It was a bit more boxing. I don't even know the term for it. Less martial arts, more just fisticuffs. Maybe that's the right word. Anyway, but like I said, it was a bit more gritty, and it was really, really, really well done. I could gush over that scene forever, but man, that was intense. I could see it again if I wanted to. I hope that doesn't make me sound really weird. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think. What was your favorite part of this episode? What do you think is happening next? Obviously, if you read the comics and you know what this whole thing that the Hand is doing, if you know stuff about that, no spoilers, please. um, I want to be surprised on my own. I want to figure this all out and kind of experience it as it happens. So yeah, let me know what you think and leave a like and subscribe for more Daredevil season 2. I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.